Wait! I'm not ready to be eaten yet.
Bloody hell, how raw are you?
Raw enough not to be eaten, please. I need to be taken care of.
Yes, no, of course. I'm sorry, this is the biggest responsibility I've ever been given. Are you like a Tamagotchi? What do you need?
Oh, thank you. Well, sushi care is really very simple. You just need to... What?
Sushi Go Party is you guzzling down as much smiling sushi as you can before up to 7 other dinner party guests / bitter rivals can do the same. It's also, and I don't say this lightly, probably the best game about raw fish there is on the market right now. Sushi Go Party is a kind of deluxe edition to 2013's lovely little lunchbox Sushi Go, a game I actually use as a makeshift tripod for my iPad when I'm filming these videos, and one I highly regard that... In comparison to the original though, Party contains 3 times more cards, at least 100 times more different sushi combinations, and a gazillion times more... crap. Players each get a collection of cards, picking one to keep in building a delicious dinner. They then pass all the cards they didn't choose to their left, as all these pieces of fish are on an ever-circulating conveyor belt like one of those fancy sushi eateries, or the Generation game, or the most inefficient Tesco's ever. Of course, this means you'll be getting the leftovers of the player on your right. You pick a card, you pass it around, X number of cards remain in your hand, depending on the number of players you have and where you are on that round. I'm trying to party here, just... Once all cards have been dispersed, you tally up the delicious points and start a new round. It's wonderfully simple stuff, but before you dismiss this as unchallenging fodder, you'll like to know that Sushi Go Party's joy really comes from the intermingling of each piece of sushi in your digestive tract. Jeez, I'm bringing everything down. Each piece of sushi scores in a rather different way. Some require a good dose of variety, some require you to hoard as much as you can, and some require you to hoard only a certain amount before the extra calories start to really affect your enjoyment. This is glossing over the fact that Sushi Go Party retains that layer of complexity that all great drafting games have. Taking a card, not because you want it, but because you don't want your opponent to have it, whilst trying to remember what's coming around and hoping that this invisible get here hasn't taken what you needed. Whilst the scoring of each card can easily be set in just a few categories, the way they work with each other create this magnificent illusion of diversity that sees each game through its 20 minutes playtime. This is amazingly impressive, seeing as whilst you only get to play with 8 items, the game comes with 23 kinds to mix and match. The game already comes with preset menus to use, several sets of cards that fulfill different criteria depending on what kind of game you want to play. Or you can just bluff it and buffet it, create your own menu on the fly. So long as you fit the incredibly easy to follow criteria, you can do whatever you want. Want to add more deathly point-snoring cards with Trump-like eel comb-overs? You can do that. If you consider fruit a fulfilling dessert, then well, you're wrong, but you can have it. Want to mix up the game with onigiri? You have to do that because onigiri is the cutest kind of sushi, and if you don't want to eat it, then you're a monster. As long as you have a basic understanding of mathematicizing, you can fire away with whatever combination you choose. And whilst I haven't played every menu imaginable, I'm not a professional, every one I have played with works. So with all this praise, you might find it a little bit fishy when I tell you to just hold onto your wallet for a little while longer. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a Sushi Go game in your collection, but with Sushi Go Party double the price of its older counterpart, I do want to chip in on just how many notes you should throw in its general direction. I love the diversity that comes with Party, but whilst all the cards offered are fantastic for those looking for niche tastes, they're all just as great as the 8 that came with the original game. There's also the fact that the original had portability on its side. Its tiny stature means it's barely noticeable as you carry it to a pal's house, but compare this to the moderately sized bento box that is Party. It's not a behemoth, and I adore any inlay that holds cards like this, but it's not exactly easy to pack for transport, and if you're like me, you're going to cause a card fountain to splurt in your bag. If you're not getting it for new cards or to increase your party size from 5 to 8, you're basically spending money on a fancy new scoreboard and these lovely little soy sauce point markers. And at the risk of sounding like my mum, do you really need these? Either way, Sushi Go Party is a filling filler that adds a huge deal of variety to an already great game. However, don't feel pressured into getting it just because of its deluxe presentation. Its older sibling does offer the same swift gameplay at a lower price tag. If though you're willing to experiment with a bunch of cards, you've got a doughy heart susceptible to cuteness, or you just want a feast big enough for your entire family, then definitely get this on your plate. Alternatively, just get both. There's no nutritional value to it, it's just a bit of a binge. A good one of that. Right, okay. I can't eat those. Those are chopsticks. Oh. Didn't get any.